Hey guys, welcome to the video. Thanks for joining me. My name's Neil, and I'm going to come at you with just a couple of bits of news and info from around the league just in the past couple of days, a couple of signings, some news about my channel and some things to expect, the podcast, some jerseys I'm selling. Just wanted to kind of make this quick little video with just some snippets in it. So I appreciate all the love of the past couple of days and weeks of all the jersey unboxings from Cool Hockey, from Fanatics, from all the rest of the places that I got these jerseys from you guys in the Mail Time series. I've been having so much fun doing those unboxings. There's more to do. I actually have a package right here from one of you guys that I'm going to open. I'm actually going to film it right after this video, so you'll see that very soon if you want to see what this is. And you're going to want to see what this is because I don't actually know exactly. I know it's a jersey, but I don't know exactly what jersey it is. And it is custom hand stitched. So I'm excited to open up this one. If you want to check that out, make sure you subscribe down below. So it's kind of a tough video to make because there's good news in here and there's also some really kind of conversations that I never really wanted to have based on a couple of the players. Some tough news to, I was going to say break. I'm not breaking any news, but tough news to talk about. But we're going to start off with my team, the Montreal Canadiens, my favorite team, and a couple of signings that they made. So they did sign for a leak a couple of days ago or weeks ago, I guess, and kind of a low-key signing. They have positional personnel issues. They have so many wingers and not a lot of centermen. So I guess it was kind of a depth signing. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this player, but at least if I need him, he's there, kind of thing. So there's a lot to work out with training camp for the Montreal Canadiens. But the real meat of this conversation, as far as Montreal is concerned, is the Corey Perry signing. So he signed the other day for $750K, 1-year deal. And I'll tell you the stats. I didn't memorize them on purpose. I wrote them down. 57 games played in the regular season last year, 21 points, 27 playoff games, and 9 points in the playoffs. I didn't memorize those because, honestly, I don't think they matter. Like, I could go and spout off a bunch of statistics about Corey Perry in the last 2 years, but what's the point? Because he's not a player that is about points right now. Corey Perry was an elite player of the past. He's on a decline. However, he's kind of finding his game a little bit. He reminds me a little bit of Eric Stahl, Jason Spezza. He has the skill. He just doesn't have the same body and maybe endurance that he did before. But man, he's really trying. And so to me, this isn't about the statistics and what he can provide offensively on the score sheet. It's about what he can provide from a leadership perspective and a depth perspective. And I really, as a Montreal Canadiens fan, this isn't just me relaying some information to you. I'm actually, obviously, genuinely, emotionally invested into this signing and this news. So I'm pretty excited. I have gotten, I wouldn't say a lot of negative comments, but I've been vocal about liking Corey Perry since I started on YouTube in the past 4 years, and obviously I'm in the minority there because he's not the cleanest player, but I like his grittiness. He does have some dirty moments in his career for sure. I'm not saying he doesn't, and that does worry me a little bit. He's not the most responsible player. He could get Montreal into some penalty issue trouble. That's almost inevitable. It's almost certainly going to happen for him and for Montreal, and it's going to be frustrating at the time, but I think what he brings from a depth perspective, from a physical perspective, from a puck battling perspective along the boards, and I'm mostly talking about the playoffs here. Like, this is a signing really on both sides. It's a trust by Corey Perry that Montreal's going to make the playoffs because Corey Perry is a bit of a playoff performer. And his trust from the Montreal Canadiens that, we're going to make the playoffs, and we want your gritty style, we want your depth, we want your leadership. If we need to throw you in the first line because there's an injury, we can do that. If we want you to play in the fourth line, you can do that. That's the kind of dynamic player that Corey Perry is later in his career now. And I think this was a really, really smart signing by the Montreal Canadiens. It is no risk. $750K for 1 year. That is zero risk. Reminds me a little bit of the Kovalchuk deal, but I think you're going to get more expected consistency out of Perry versus Kovalchuk. I think Montreal got a little bit lucky with Kovalchuk. I think there was a lot of emotion for Kovalchuk playing in Montreal, hearing the fans cheer him on and stuff. It's such a almost a religious place to play. So a bit of a different experience for Kovalchuk there. And I think Corey Perry, while it's great to hear you're being cheered for in Montreal is a wonderful experience, I don't think Corey Perry really cares about that. I think Corey Perry is just obsessed with hockey, obsessed with the game. Not saying Kovalchuk's not, but Corey Perry is just a different kind of player. He's a guy that gives 110%. He had a couple of years where he declined, and now he's trying to reinvent his game and stuff. So I genuinely like this deal from Montreal, and I don't think I'm being biased there because I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan and I'm trying to justify this signing or something like that to make myself feel good about it. I genuinely think it's a good signing. So thumbs up there for Marc Bergevin for making that happen. Moving on to the next one, and this was actually just basically announced right before I hit the record on the camera. Zdeno Chara has signed with the Washington Capitals for $795,000 for 1 year, I believe. Actually, I'm not even sure if it said 1 year on the tweet that I read, but $795K. And kind of like Corey Perry, I don't need to tell you the statistics of Zdeno Chara because it's not really about that. With Chara, you get leadership, you get physicality, you get experience, and you have a guy who, at the age that he's at, which I believe is the oldest player in the NHL right now by probably a decent margin, you get I hate this term. A lot of analysts have used this recently, but a physical specimen. He really is. He's incredibly in shape. He is obsessed with his diet and his conditioning. That man is probably the best in shape of maybe any NHL player in the league, and he's the oldest. So, and that's really how Jágr has maintained his level of professional hockey. He's still playing. He's like 48 or something crazy. So, actually, I don't know how old he is. He's probably like 45 or 46, but. It sets a really good example for the rest of the younger players in Washington. You also have a bit of an aging core there with Ovechkin and Backstrom, and to bring in someone else with experience like Chara, again, no risk, $795,000, so just above the floor. Man, I like this move. It's tough seeing him move on from Boston. I'm sure Boston fans will be disappointed. However, on the other side of the coin, I think there's some Boston fans that are like, okay. I like Chara, but he's slow. He's slow, and he gets us in trouble sometimes. And I do understand that argument. So I think I'm on the side where I'd rather have Chara on my team versus against my team. So I like this signing by Washington. I have a feeling Washington fans will like this as well. I think he'll fit in nicely, and it probably works for Boston as well at the same time because they're trying to grow and reinvent their team a little bit as well. So I understand the move on both sides. All sides, I guess I should say Boston, Washington, and Zdeno for making the decision to leave Boston and go to Washington. So, bit of information there. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Now the tough conversations, too, actually, specifically, and I was going to say it's funny. It's not funny. It's interesting that the next player I was going to talk about is someone who lives on my table here in front of me. Whenever I sell jerseys, there are jersey cards in here, and whenever I sell a jersey, I throw a couple of jersey cards in there just as a thank you, and I keep them here on my desk. And Jonathan Taves is on the front of this, so I literally see him every single day as I film. He's always there on that little tin. And man, news came out recently where it was tough to read. It's tough to read because we don't know. We don't really know the cause as of right now. Maybe more information has been released since I last read about it, but Jonathan Taves basically has said in the offseason, recently he's felt very low energy, lethargic. He's not exactly sure what's going on. So there's testing that's happening, and that's really tough to hear. Like, you don't need to be a Chicago Blackhawks fan to understand how crappy that news is. Like, really. Like, some people cheer for players because they're really good, or some people cheer for players because they're the captain, and like, man, he's the captain of my team, I got to cheer for him. And some people cheer for players who are just good humans. And Jonathan Taves is one of the few who tick all those boxes. Like, he is a good player. He is an amazing captain. And he's, most importantly, an amazing human. So, as a hockey fan, not as a Blackhawks fan, as a hockey fan, this is very difficult to hear. So we wish him all the best. Hopefully we find out soon what's going on. And maybe he will find out soon and decide not to tell everyone right away, and maybe the Blackhawks keep it a little bit hush-hush. But obviously we wish the best for Jonathan Taves. Don't want to see him leave the game. So just definitely keeping him in our thoughts. I'm not religious. I'm not going to pray. But I'm definitely keeping him in my thoughts for sure. I'm going to be following that story. And moving on to another story that's a bit tough to talk about is Lundqvist. It was announced the other day that he's going to need and has already scheduled, I believe, open heart surgery. So for a player that, and goalie specifically, who is on the last little sliver of his career. Just got an opportunity to play for another team. Coming up on the end, he gets this news, and it's difficult because it's not just about, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to play hockey again. It's, I'm not sure how long I'm going to live. Basically, like, that's worst case scenario. Like, that's probably the stuff that goes through your mind. So it's pretty serious. They're confident that they're going to be able to fix everything, but we don't know if he's going to play another NHL game, and that is difficult. That's tough. It's too early. I know he's old, but it's too early for Hank to leave us, to leave the game of hockey. So I'm really hoping the surgery is successful. I'm hoping that he gets cleared maybe a year from now, and that means he's another year older, but who knows? Maybe he can come back for a couple of games, or maybe he can rebound completely, and it really helps him out. We don't really know, but again, kind of like Taves, we'll be keeping Hank in our thoughts for sure. On to the next two topics to discuss here, which is basically channel related. The podcast is 100% coming back on the podcast channel. If you're not aware, Jason and myself run a podcast called Post Podcast. It's on a separate YouTube channel. It is linked down below in the description. That is coming back January 9th. I was at his place last night putting together 2 IKEA shelves for the background. So we're getting the actual studio or setup all set up. The shelves are up, or the bookcases are up, the shelves are in. We're going to line it with some pucks and some hats and kind of make the background a little bit more appealing. We've got a net in the background now, so working on some things there. We were thinking about doing it this Sunday, but there's still a couple things we need to iron out as far as the set and lighting and stuff, so we're waiting just a little bit on that. So that's coming January 9th, the first episode of the upcoming season, right before the NHL season actually starts. Would love it if you could head on over, hit the subscribe button there, because we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming season as far as predictions, some news from really just around the NHL over the past 4 months, get some thoughts from Jason on a lot of things. He hasn't really been on the channel much lately, so it'd be really good to have a conversation with him and get his take on a couple of things. The other thing is I'm selling a bunch of jerseys, and if you follow me on Twitter, you would have already seen this, but I don't really want this to take a long time, but I do want to show you all the jerseys I'm going to sell. So if you're interested in buying any of my jerseys, please contact me on Twitter, actually. That is linked down below in the description. It's at Post to Post Show. DM me on there and we can work something out. I've worked out trades. I prefer not to trade though. Like, don't come at me with a trade unless it's something I'm super interested in. But I'm generally selling all these jerseys to kind of recoup the cost of the reverse retros that I bought and also save for a house at the same time. So I'm not really looking to trade jerseys. I'm looking to sell jerseys. So I'm going to show them to you. And if you're interested in any of them, please DM me on Twitter and let me know where you live and what you're offering for the jersey, because I'm going to need to calculate shipping and stuff. Yeah, all right, let's take a look. So Adidas, size 46 with the Foley on the back, LA Kings. Detroit Red Wings, Reebok with Zetterberg on the back, size small. Size 52, Calgary Flames, Adidas with James Neal on the back. Size small, Reebok, alternate, Colorado Avalanche, blank. Size 46, Ottawa Senators, Adidas with Carlson on the back. An Indo Edge Reebok, technically authentic, I guess, in a way. Nameless, size 50. Just did a video on this, actually, if you want to check it out. I called it an authentic through the entire video, but it's actually an Indo Edge. Sorry. Another LA Kings jersey. This is the replica version of that. It is size small. This is size 46 Adidas Columbus Blue Jackets with Panarin on the back. New York Islanders Reebok, small, nameless. New Jersey Devils Reebok, nameless, size small. Boston Bruins Winter Classic, blank, size 46. New with the tags still on it. Calgary Flames, size small, Reebok. Nameless. Minnesota Wild, size small, Reebok, with Suter on the back. Buffalo Sabres, Reebok, size small. Philadelphia Flyers, Reebok, size small. New with the tags still on it. And Columbus Blue Jackets, size small, Reebok, nameless. So like I said, if you're interested in any of those, please message me on Twitter. It's at @PostToPostShow. Let me know what you are offering and where you live, and that we can try and work in the shipping into the price. I'm not going to sell any of those for $50, so please don't offer me $50, including shipping. That makes no sense for me to sell any of those jerseys for $50, including shipping. It makes no sense. So please, respectfully, do not lowball me. I don't need to sell these jerseys. I want to sell these jerseys. So I'm not going to be pressured into selling any of those. So if someone doesn't offer me a respectable price, I'm just going to hold on to them. That's just the way it's going to work. So if you are interested in any of those, I really appreciate that. And I look forward to talking to you and getting to know you guys more too as well. So I like to see people's jersey collections and see people's jersey collections grow, to be completely honest. So yeah, as I release this video, you have an opportunity to win a jersey. If you go over to Twitter, on my profile, look at the pinned comment. If you have not liked, retweeted, and followed me on Twitter, you have 1 day to do that. I'm giving away a Vancouver Canucks Adidas blank jersey on Twitter only, not on YouTube, not on Instagram, Twitter only. The tweet's already out there. All you need to do is retweet it and like it and follow me. And I will be announcing that winner tomorrow. So as I release this, you still have time to go retweet that and get it out there. So look out for that tomorrow on Twitter. And yeah, thanks guys for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on Perry, Frolik, Jonathan Taves, Lundqvist, and if you're excited for the podcast. If you're not, I guess tell me as well. And yeah, hope you guys are having an awesome day. Unboxing video coming tomorrow. Maybe an unboxing video coming again after that the next day. I want to talk some jersey concepts that's coming soon. And yeah, we need to talk about the season coming up as well. So I need to do that. So keep an eye out for those videos. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Adios.